right, I did it. I'm trying here, people. What do you think of my Christmas lights? This is them having a little last hurrah before they go back in their container. Hello everyone, welcome. This is titled What I Learned in 2021, and yeah, it's a little late maybe to be talking about last year. For you, maybe you feel like last year is in the past, whatever, no big deal. It might be for me too. However, I forgot to do this video. So maybe that's an indication of how this year is going for me. Gosh, okay. So I was in London. The end of the year just felt like it moved super fast. And then I had a little bit of time over the holidays to sleep a bunch, and then it was just kind of right back into it again. And it wasn't until I was tidying up the space today and thinking a little bit more about it that I realized I'm not quite ready to move forward yet until I honor where I've been, until I can discuss what I learned. And I'm realizing that the last year was such a whirlwind for me. Like, there was just a lot. Yeah, so, okay. I want to talk about this last year. So I'll kind of break down these 5 things. I'm sure there's more than 5 that I learned, but we're gonna go with 5 because it sounds really cool and like I'm a BuzzFeed article. Okay, number 1, I followed my passions without there being a reason. A lot of my job as an actor is like, I don't know what's gonna happen next in terms of work. I wake up in the morning and I have emails and I look at them, and sometimes there's scripts in there and then I read them, and playing different characters has allowed me the opportunity to learn different things. This last year, I took a little bit different approach, and part of it was because I wasn't gonna go out and I wasn't filming anything. I was staying at home. So with that, I had to learn how to reorganize and find what sparked wonder and joy and amusement for myself, not for a job, not because I thought it was gonna end up meaning something later, but just because it was interesting to me. There is something about just doing what you love and following those passions. And I know that that's not available to everybody. Brie, shut up. Like, I can't just follow my bliss. But that's okay. I don't mean to say that that's the right thing to do. I'm just telling you what happened for me. You know, I'm hesitant to say that because it's not like I'm in a state of perpetual bliss or joy all the time. Like, it's hard, but I do find that I'm savoring those moments where instead of doing something because I think I'm supposed to, I'm doing it because it actually means something to me. So maybe that makes sense. Oh, okay, so number 2, with that, because I'm at home and I'm looking around, and in particular I was playing a lot of Animal Crossing, I realized that I was so invested and interested in these virtual worlds, and I wanted to become more interested in my actual world. With any little bit of spare land I had, I started planting trees, I started a garden. I learned things like when you plant carrots, at a certain point you have to weed them out, otherwise they get all kind of small and tangled around each other. I didn't know, I learned by trial and error. I grew my first avocado, or the avocado tree grew an avocado and I watched it do that. And with that, I got way more into cooking. You know, getting into how things are made, how it works, and finding my passions within that, it's such a special thing. It's such a special way to end the day, to nourish myself and to nourish my partner, and it felt really, really sweet. And so then, bouncing off of that, number 3, waking up in the morning feeling good is not a coincidence, which was news to me. There's the basic things that I feel like set me up for success, like drinking water, exercising, doing therapy. There are certain foods that make me feel better than others. Sleep. I need so much sleep. I learned that, like, I'm somebody who needs like at least 10 hours. I'm like, I wish I could be cooler and do it for less because I'd be super productive, but it's not what works for me. And then on top of all of that, friendships, the people that you are talking to, outside influences, the things that you're intaking, what you're listening to, what you're watching, your friends that you're talking to, your partner, like how everybody is communicating and what you're taking in, it is that thing, like you are what you eat. I started to become really comfortable with the idea of setting boundaries. It's a wild one, and it takes a bit of introspection, and it takes interest in your life to be able to go, okay, what are the things that set me up for success so that I feel good when I wake up? And it's not that every single day is exactly the same. I just want to be clear. I can do all of those things that I said, and I can still wake up crabby because I have hormones and I'm a human being, but I really love my time on this planet and I want to enjoy it as much as I can. So number 4 with that, oof, okay. Bear with me, folks. Number 4 is confrontation is amazing. Yeah, breaking news. I thought it wasn't amazing, actually, but it turns out it is. So what I mean by confrontation is, let's make it easy and say like, someone said something that you didn't like, and it's sitting with you and you're kind of like, eh. First, I'll like sit with myself a little bit, check in with myself, go, what does that make me, why do I feel that way? Like what's underneath it, and kind of pull apart for a second, rather than just the initial interaction, but just like, what does that make me feel? Why is this bothering me in some way? And then if I feel like it's truly something that I need to confront that person about and go, you know what, that really does bother me, that crossed the line, that hurts my feelings, whatever, I go, okay, I gotta do it. I feel like having the respect for another person to not continue to have a story in my head, but to just take it on and say, this is how I feel. It just does a world of a difference. And to the right person, they will completely respect the fact that you brought that to them and didn't hold a resentment of some kind. So it is amazing. With that, number 5. Number 5 kind of sums up all of this in a nice package, which I didn't mean to do, but okay. Here we are. Number 5 is advocating for myself. Damn it. This is so simple, and I understood this intellectually, but I wasn't fully living it, which is that I'm responsible for myself. There's a lot that goes into this idea of advocating for yourself, but the basic concept for me with it is that I'm in charge of myself. If something doesn't feel right, it's up to me to say something. If a boundary's crossed, it's up to me to say something. And that it's okay to admit when you don't like something or when it's not working for you. So different than confrontation, I'm not saying that there's an actual problem, but if you're in a work situation where it's not going in a way that's convenient for you or that works for you or that you feel like you're creatively flourishing, that you can go, hey, that doesn't work for me. And there's a new level of confidence in that. It's not egotistical. It's not me saying that what I want and what I need is more important than another individual. It's saying, hey, this was what works for me. Is there a way that we can meet in the middle and figure this out? It's pretty wonderful, actually, if you can start to get into that practice a little bit more. I do not have it perfect, okay? I'm sure there's someone watching this that's like, knows me very well and is like, Brie? I'm like, I'm working on it. I'm just saying this is what I learned last year. I totally get that this is a difficult time and we're not out of it yet. And so I'm sending love your way, and just a reminder that I'm a growing person too. It's interesting. I feel like in my position, sometimes people project onto me, and maybe they project terrible things on me, and sometimes they project amazing things on me, and I'm probably somewhere in the middle, you know? I'm a flawed human being as well, but I will say that the one thing that I feel pretty strongly about myself is that I really do try, and I want to do better. I want to do more. I want to show up. I want to show up and be like the best partner and daughter and friend that I can possibly be. And sometimes that means I confront, and sometimes that means I cook, and sometimes that means I play video games. That's the whole tangled mess that is me. I'm super curious to learn what you learned in this last year, because I think there's a lot of knowledge in all of us, and I'd love to share. Please, I'd love to know if there was something big, or maybe you have 5 things, or maybe you have 3 things, whatever it is. I would love to know more, and maybe we can fill up these comments with things that we learned. We're all trying our best here. That's all I got. I hope that that was in some ways helpful. I hope you feel happy and safe in your body.